So welcome everyone. Full spiritual vibe I'm getting. All youth and truth and all people sitting with great postures. This is like the filmmaking bunch. All the people are sitting hunched. This is all the Sadhguru bunch. All looking bright. So I'm here today in conversation with Sadhguru, and the topic for today, or the area we are covering, is youth and truth, and we'll try to stick to stuff that's relevant to us. A lot of questions come from me personally, things that trouble me and things that I wanted to ask someone, and I thought it's a good opportunity. And we picked a bunch of questions from the people as well, from the general youth as well. So I'll start, Sadhguru. First of all, welcome to Hyderabad. You must have come several times before, I'm not sure. But
I came here many times even before you were born.
Oh yeah. He was already telling me he's been doing this since 37 years. But I already know he likes Hyderabad because he was appreciating the Hyderabad traffic police. He was like, these guys are good. So first thing, Sadhguru, I think I feel like I probably am a polar opposite of you, because I'm extremely flawed and extremely confused. I think I might have a multiple personality issue happening. I hate giving advice. Sadhguru gives a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah, I hate giving.
No. I never give advice to anybody. Not I've taken advice from anybody.
Oh, you've never taken as well?
Because I never took advice, I never give advice.
Okay. So there I've gone wrong. And I think a lot of issues, like I blame human nature in general for a lot of our misgivings. And I have like lots of doubts, questions, fears. And usually like you're drawn to some sort of people. You build a relation, you trust them. And usually these are the people you go to with your fears, with your doubts. These are the people you share your problems with. This is the first time I'm sitting with a completely strange man, a guru, and opening up to these fears and questions. So first thing, Sadhguru, is I would like to get to know you a little bit better. So my first couple of questions are about you. Can I proceed? My first question is, I'm not as aware as you guys, but I do watch some of his videos, and I'm always surprised by how do you have an answer to everything, like, and most of it makes sense. And my first feling was,
Hey, what do you mean most of it, huh?
As in, like, I asked you about happiness and you sold me inner engineering program. So other than that, like and I feel like common sense is very uncommon. That's already very uncommon, and I always wonder, how do you have an answer to everything? Like,
See, it's like asking, how come you see the tree? How come you see the people? How come you can see the camera? How come you can see ant and bird?
Okay.
No, I just got eyes.
But I can see these things, but I don't have an answer to everything.
No, this is… suppose a person who doesn't have eyes asks this question. You can see a tree also, you can see a bird also, you can see an elephant also. No, I don't see all those things. I just have eyes and it sees everything.
Okay.
So
I basically need to open…
Yes, to bring that clarity. If you have clarity, whatever you see it the way it is. If you don't have clarity, you muddle it up in your mind with all kinds of things. Essentially, this is happening. This is an evolutionary issue in the sense. See, this development of the cerebra, of this cerebral activity, of this ability to process information and thought the way we are doing it right now, is a new happening in the evolutionary scheme of things. So you have a brain for which you don't have a stable enough body. So the brain is not functioning for you, it's functioning against you most of the time. What you call as fears, anxieties, troubles, you've romanticized all those things in the movies but essentially, it's your brain working against you. I think very tragically, one Telangana or Hyderabad television anchor recently committed suicide about 4 or 5 months ago, jumped off fifth floor or so. And then she left a note, "My brain is my enemy." Well, it took millions of years to get this brain to this state, and now it becomes your enemy simply because you don't create a stable enough platform. This is all human beings have to do. If you create a stable enough platform, then your intelligence will work for you rather than working against you. When it works against you, you call it stress, you call it anxiety, you call it fears, you call it confusion, you call it madness, but essentially it's just that your intelligence is turned against you. Please don't romanticize this, because your intelligence must work for you. If your intelligence turns against you, there is no force in the universe that can help you ever.
So you're saying if we create a stable enough body to handle this brain, we will…
I said a stable platform.
Platform.
Its body is included.
And how do we create this stable platform?
That's why I gave you the inner engineering program.
How many days is this program?
Oh, this can be just a weekend.
A weekend?
Yes. What we need is 32 hours of focus time.
Okay.
We can format it over the 7 days, evenings,
Okay.
or one strong weekend.
Okay.
But essentially we need 32 hours of focus time.
So my next question was, do you have some sort of superpower, because this sort of clarity you have and how you can analyze everything and give a reply, I find it hard to see like very rarely you see a person be able to do this. Now we have explained that it's a stable platform that makes you do it, but so there's this saying that give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day, teach him fishing and you'll feed him for life. So I wanted to ask you, tell me how to develop this platform so that I don't need to ask you answers, I will go and give people answers. But…
You will see this all the time around me. When people come initially, they come with 1,000 questions. As they settle down into practices, they are there for 10-15 years, they have not asked a single question. This doesn't mean all questions got answered, questions dissolved.
So do you think if I do this engineering program, I'll have clarity like you and be able to respond to…
If you do inner engineering program.
Yeah, if did I just call it engineering? Okay. If I do that, I will be able to sit and give answers to people like this.
You should also stop acting and be real. I'm real,
Okay. But can you make it clear to me? Because I really want to sit
yes,
and…
this also can grow.
Okay.
And you don't have to do anything. If you don't meddle with it, it'll grow.
Okay. My next question is, like, I am the person I am because of various things that happened in my life, the decisions I've made, how I've faced, like, events happen in your life and how you react to them is how I've become the person I am. I'm wondering what happened to you in your life to make you the person you are today. What is it that happened in your life that made you take this path even? Or why you're sitting there and I'm sitting here? Maybe if those incidents…
I think we have the same kind of chair, just to make sure.
Why you're giving the answers and I'm asking the questions?
Because you have questions.
Why do you have the answer? I'm asking, what is it that happened in your life that turned your life in this way?
I asked all the questions that you're thinking of now, and a millionfold more questions
When you were…
much earlier than you, and invested my life into those questions. Did not ask those questions casually. Did not go and ask somebody else, what about this, what about that? Questions bothered me, and I realized, just listening to the chatter around you, none of them have a clue about anything. So, I invested my life into the questions.
And you found your own answers.
I did not find answers. My head became empty, even now. It's totally empty and clear. So, if you go and stand in front of a clear mirror, whoever comes, Whether konda comes or mountain comes, it will show. So does it mean to say the mirror knows the konda and the mountain and the elephant and the man and the woman who stand in front of the mirror? No, it's just clear.
So right now you're just empty, and that's what gives you this clarity, eh?
See, when you say empty, see, it's like this. You have a much smaller beard, but you're trying to pull it.
No, it's just a habit.
When is the shooting?
There's maybe in
you
a
need
month.
it little longer? Is it the reason why you're pulling it?
No, it's just a habit, but I would
That's
love it to grow to that level.
No, why I'm saying this is, our hands or our body can start doing something compulsively. If it becomes very compulsive, then people will say it's an ailment. Otherwise, people will say it's their personality. So personality is a mild ailment. When it gets very strong, people will say, oh, he's gone crazy. Yes? So, when the same happens with your mind, people think it's natural. It's not natural. Mind has become compulsive. Compulsive thoughts, compulsive emotions are happening. People say, this is my personality, this is how I am. This is not how you are. You have become like this accidentally. As you said, various situations and push and pull of life does this to people. So this is a choice that a human being has, that you either become an accidental person or a conscious person. The significance of being human is that we can be a conscious life. Why we're in some way better than other creatures is not because we're more competent. No, a monkey is far more competent in catching a ball, throwing a ball, whatever, you name it. In terms of strength, we are not comparable to other creatures. Only reason is we can live consciously. We can do everything that they do, we do the same things, but we can do it consciously. So if you cannot conduct the process of your mind, emotion and body consciously, then it becomes accidental or compulsive. That is not the way a human being should go, especially you being an actor. If you don't have a personality of your own, whatever person you have to play at that moment, you could be a total that person, rather than becoming a personality yourself. Because personality means a mask, essentially. In the Greek drama, the word persona meant a handheld mask. Those were days, there are only 3 actors, but there are 10 characters in the drama. So these 3 guys will take on different masks, hold it and do those dialogues. This is how the drama was done. So when this mask gets stuck to your face and you can't remove it, that's called a personality. So why do you need a personality? To do different kinds of activity, you need different kinds of personality. People who've been around me for long enough, they have this trouble of seeing me. I will warn them, see, I'm going to change my persona now. Watch out, I'm going to change everything about me, don't think I've lost it and don't fall off, hang on. Well, some people have the wisdom to hang on, some people will lose it and they'll fall off. Though I warned them 6 months before I changed my personality completely changing everything about me, the way I think and feel, what food I like also I change. Because this is what a human being means.
But you do that consciously.
Consciously.
To what objective, like why? Just for a change or?
No, to fulfill different purposes.
Okay. Like some spiritual stuff.
No. Life purposes. When I was in the mode of consecration of Dhyana Linga, people saw me like a fireball, always intense. Spoke very little, rarely smiled. Now they can't believe that. So once that was over, then I told them, see, we've lived on the peaks for too long, time to get down to the valleys and do something more easy and simple. So then I get into the activity in the world. So I change my clothing, I change the way I eat, I change the way I look, I change the way I smile and talk, everything, because now you're reaching out to the world. At that time, it was a different goal altogether. Now it's a different thing. So accordingly, you do that.
from this conscious living and compulsive behavior, what would you like to tell us? Like, what is better for us? Because we are all just reacting to every day. I'm faced with different situations, and I'm just reacting to them, and I'm doing whatever is in my best interest. And that is shaping the person I become, and I'm making these decisions consciously. Maybe this I'm doing compulsively, but this I don't care about. It doesn't affect my life in any way.
No, I was just joking.
Yeah. So, but the rest, we are all making mostly conscious decisions.
See, as you said, you're reacting to situations.
Yeah.
When you say reaction, it means it's compulsive. There is a difference between reacting to something and responding to something.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Maybe wrong vocabulary.
No,
Responding.
there is reaction. You may think through what is your well-being, but still it's a reaction, isn't it?
No, we are also responding to
You're
situations.
also… I mean,
Yeah.
nobody is 100% this or that. Let's
Yeah.
not misunderstand. Somebody is all up there and somebody is
Yeah.
all down here. There's
Yeah.
no such thing.
Yeah.
Every human being rises and goes down, up and down, happening. But the fundamental thing is, in a day, from the moment you got up today till this moment, hardly a quarter of the day is gone. How much of your thought, emotion, physical activity has been conscious? Including your breath and heartbeat and everything else.
Oh, if I have to sit and be… But this is supposed to be involuntary, no? Breath and stuff.
It is involuntary, but are you conscious is the question.
Are you conscious of your breath now, every breath?
See, you can inquire, anybody can inquire, people who are around me, traveling with me, have they ever seen me doing any exercise?
Do you know in the car while we were driving, you would do this with your mustache?
No, yes, that is because today it is all little flared up and before I come to the camera, even now I am doing it. In Tamil Nadu,
This is
some
also
television…
conscious, it's not like me.
No, in Tamil Nadu, some television channels are using… Because this is always a problem because I've never cut these things.
Okay.
So I have to do this before I go in front of the camera.
Okay.
And now one Tamil Nadu channel uses a promotional where I'm doing like this. Okay. And they projected it in a completely different way. I'm like challenging the people like this. I'm not challenging anybody, I'm straightening out my mustache. Because if I do this or this, it can make my very face look like this.
Yeah.
So instead of cutting, I'm spending little time on doing this, not separate time when I'm driving. No time wasted.
Yeah. So now I'll move on to the first question.
From beard to…
From beard to… It's actually quite a smooth transition, but I think this is the most important question that's bothering the youth today, and it's not only our nation, but across the world, everyone's wondering how to stop hair fall. Like, I don't… do you have some solution to this, Sadhguru? I think a lot of us would sleep better. Like, see, so many of them…
People tell me, this hair care products or the amount of money spent on hair care products on the planet is much bigger than what's spent on education.
Whoa! See how much we are concerned about our hair.
See, I think you must learn from this tree, see how it's growing its hair.
It's lucky that it's growing, for us it's falling.
I think my effort is to shift their focus from their hair to their head.
Okay, so we still don't have a solution for hair fall. Right now it's about the head.
Well, if you keep the head cool, the hair may not fall.
May not.
Well, generally not.
Okay. Why did your hair fall?
Oh, because my hair… because for years, for almost 8 years or so, I wore badly designed helmets.
Oh, you're a biker, no? Okay.
Literally 18-20 hours I was in a helmet, and helmets were not well designed, they were sitting here on the top. They should be holding here, but they were sitting on the top. And I've never cared about my hair.
It doesn't bother you.
There's no hair care. If it's gone, life becomes so much simpler. you don't even have to carry a comb with you. Right now I don't have a mirror with me, but I don't even need a comb if the hair goes off, no problem at all.
So
Sometimes I'm searching for a rubber band, so all those problems will go away, I have no issue.
So if you have hair fall, relax.
As long as you've got
Lesser
a head,
problem.
working head, as long as you have a working head, why are you concerned about the hair?
I'm an actor, so I'm concerned mostly people for…
See, if you lose your hair, you can wear whatever kind of wig you want.
No. So I've divided this question session into certain categories so that it's simpler. So, the first category I've kind of called it life, just random miscellaneous questions. So Sadhguru, one thing I've thought about is I don't know much of life that's past me, that was there before I was born. I don't know of a future after me. I know of the life I have. So I wondered if the purpose of life is to just live and to live it fully according to my whim and fancy. Because this is one thing I know I have with me. So my question is was I right in thinking that the purpose in life is to just live it fully?
100%, live it fully. But living it fully does not mean party every evening. Living it fully means, before you fall dead, you must explore all dimensions of life. Nothing that's possible for a human being should go unexperienced. If you're talking about living fully in that sense, you're on the dot. But later on you added according to my whim and fancy. That's a problem. Because your whims are not yours, they're social fads. Either you're doing what everybody is doing, or in reaction you're doing what nobody is doing. That's not the way to go towards a full life. But exploring life to its fullest depth and dimension is the really only purpose of life. Otherwise, what else?
But what is this depth and dimension? What are these dimensions that we are supposed to explore?
Is it true that you have a body?
Yes.
Hair or hairless, but body.
Is there.
So body is something that you slowly accumulated over a period of time, isn't
Okay.
it? You're not born like this.
Yeah.
So you have a thought process.
Yeah.
The content or the data for this thought process also you accumulate over a period of time. As you say, many things that happened to me, decisions I made, what I did and did not do. Emotions also accumulated.
Yes.
What you accumulate can be yours, cannot be you, isn't it?
Okay.
This samosa, is it you?
It's not.
If you eat it,
I might extract some nutrients from it if there are any.
no, it becomes you, isn't it? This body is just this.
Yeah, till it's in
Just
the
the food you have eaten, isn't it?
Okay.
So, this is not you, but it becomes you.
Okay.
It's not true, it's still not you.
Then
Most people don't get the point till you bury them. When you bury them, they understand the body was not me. So what you call as my body, what you call as my mind, is something that you've accumulated. It's like, my car is parked there. If it's a new car, you think it's you, because if somebody makes a scratch on it, your heart will break. So, inanimate things are becoming you. This means you are giving up human life totally. When something inanimate becomes you, obviously this phenomenal life and the exuberance of that life is lost. So the moment you get identified with something that you've eaten, the moment you become a samosa, if you eat lot of them, you will become a triangle like that. Yes. Some people don't know when to stop the samosa eating, they will become like a triangle. So, if you get identified with the samosa, this is me, is it a tragedy or no? Or do you call it as exuberant life?
No, it is a tragedy.
It is a tragedy. So if you get identified with the body, it's a kind of tragedy. If you get identified with the heap of information you have in your mind, that's another kind of tragedy. You're not exploring life, you're just trapped in the physiological and psychological circuit. Instruments that were given for you, for your use and life, have become bigger than life.
But so now you're saying this body is not me, this thought
I
process.
am not saying, you tell me.
Huh?
Are you
That's-
samosa?
No, wait. So you spoke about people realize it when they are buried that this body is not me. So that means, are you saying that we exist after the body is buried?
No, no, no.
Then how are they
Is
thinking?
it true the soil that you see here is what became the food that you eat?
Yeah, from it the plant took nutrients
Yes.
and yeah.
The soil became food. Food became flesh and bone. If you get this point right now, you will live a different kind of life. But most people get it only when you bury them. Till then they don't get it.
I think I'm in that category. After buried, I
No, that's why
get the point.
That is why we stepped out and trying to reach the young people, because we want them to get it now. If they get it now, they can live a phenomenal life, because life is such a great phenomenon. It's the same life. See, when it comes to body, that's your body, this my body. This my mind, that's your mind.
Correct, correct. Sir.
But when it comes to life, there is no such thing as my life and your life. There is just life. The tree is also life, the bird is also life, you're also life. The very cosmos is a living cosmos. You just captured some amount of life. That is what life is supposed to be. Life does not… See, today when people say, my life, you're supposed to understand, they're talking about their career, they're talking about their relationships, they're talking about their car, they're talking about their home, they're talking about their dog, they're talking about something else, the accessories of life. These are all accessories of life, including your body and your mind. The life is the most precious and the most phenomenal thing happening here. But that is not even in your experience. What are you talking about living life completely?
Yeah, because this body and mind is a thing we know, we can see, we can experience and feel reaction to this life you're talking about. I don't know what it is even, none of us
See,
know.
that is like saying, I can't see the air I breathe, so I will live without the air. That's what we did. That's why all the cities are so badly polluted, because we thought we cannot see the air, it doesn't concern me. When you suffocate, it concerns you, right?
So I can feel it when I'm suffocating or
This also,
take a deep
you will
breath.
also feel it when life is exiting.
When it's exiting, you
Yes,
feel
you
it.
feel it. I am saying, isn't it time that you feel it when it's here?
Yeah, I want to.
When it is housed, you must experience it. When it's exiting, you realized, what is the point of that?
For this, if I do inner
So
engineering…
this is the reason why I have stepped out for this Youth in Truth, because most people think spiritual process is at the last moment of their life. When they're dying, they must know something. I'm saying when you're living, when you just started your life, when life is ahead of you, you must know this.
We want to, I want to. I can't speak for everyone, but I definitely want to, and I'm going to try and dig deeper so that I can get to other questions.
See, what is engineering means, what one person thinks magic is actually another person's engineering, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes or no?
Yeah. I don't understand how a car functions or how a bulb comes on. For me, it's magic.
I don't admit all this, your fans are watching.
No, I'm quite open about my ignorance levels.
So, it's engineering, but suppose 100 years ago, I brought a phone and made you talk to somebody in another part of the world, you think I'm doing magic,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So engineering is like that. If you're finely engineered, you look magical. Other people thinks you are magical, but you know you're well engineered.
Do you think I look magical? Do you think Sadhguru looks magical? I'm not finely engineered then. One thing that always bothered me, Sadhguru, was why do human beings find it so hard to live and let live? Like, I think it's such a simple concept that I will mind my business, I will be happy, you do your thing. Like, countries are messing with each other, religions are messing with each other, castes are messing with each other, people, inside families, people mess with each other. So I'm just like, why can't everyone mind their own business and be happy and do their thing? So why is
that's a
living…
very simplistic desire. If you look at the way we are structuring our lives, it's designed for conflict.
Okay.
Right now, our idea of being happy, happiness means what? You must have this, this and this. So whatever that this and this, it is always in limited quantity. Now, right now as we sit here, between the tree and us there is a conflict. The tree wants to put its roots down into the earth, but because of people have been walking here, as much as she tries, she doesn't get to touch. See, there, close to the stem, it touched, but she wants all this because she knows her survival and her prosperity depends on how many roots will find the soil. But we are sitting here drinking tea, we think we are very happy, but we are encroaching because this is the nature of physical world. Because physical world or the physical itself has happened because of a defined boundary. Now, through the physical world, you're trying to achieve something which is not physical in nature. Your happiness was never physical, your joy was never physical, your love was never physical, it's something that you experienced. Certain pleasantness of life within you, which you gave names to it. But now you're trying to achieve the non-physical through physical means, and now as you expand, you will find it doesn't matter if you remove all the trees on the planet, still you're not happy. Not even healthy after some time, forget about happy. So this is always happening. Once we relate our experience of life to what we have and don't have, now conflict is inevitable because what you can have is always limited. Physical is always going to be limited because it's a world of boundaries. Without boundary, there's no physicality, isn't it? Without a defined boundary, there's no physicality. Now, you are a Devarakonda. Well, your ancestors settled for a small kingdom, but if you give them little power, they would like to occupy the next kingdom. In the history books, we will write, I come from the Vijayanagar empire. In the history books, if you read what glorious victories our Krishna Devaraya had, we are all very proud of it. But victories are never glorious, that's what the history books say. Victory is shameful, brings a whole lot of death, injury, widows, orphans. This is how victory is achieved always in a war, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because those who won write the history, they will describe it as glorious.
Yeah.
But those who lost,
Misery.
usually those who lost more people, more wealth, more misery, everything.
Yeah.
So, when we are looking at it this way, that our happiness is in having more, then conflict between individuals, conflict between communities, conflict between nations is inevitable. So this is why spiritual processes become important. This is why do you think I'm coming and meeting all this, all of you film stars and business leaders, all kinds of influencers, is because we want to make spiritual process the mainstream. Spiritual process does not mean looking up, looking down. Your experience of life should transcend the limitations of physical. Something beyond physical, if it's your living experience, you will see and you will do your physical to the extent it's necessary, not to a point of conflict.
So you're saying because of limited resources and greed…
No, because of limited experience. See, right now your entire experience is rooted in body and mind.
Yeah.
Physicality, isn't it?
Yeah.
But physicality wants to expand limitlessly. If you want to expand limitlessly, see, just ask anybody. Right now they have a little property, they want to make a little bigger property.
But this is more for security than just constant expansion, for most of us. Like I can make a bunch of money with what I'm doing, but I know that I just want like maybe 2 houses and 1 car.
Why does one man need 2 houses?
For my parents.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You can have 10 also, that's not my concern.
Yeah, so I'm
All
saying
I'm saying
I'm not
is,
constantly
is
expanding.
no, you will expand. See, your expansion may not be in property. See, if you know money, you'll think only unlimited money. If you know property, you'll think unlimited property. If you know knowledge, unlimited knowledge. If you know fame, you will look at unlimited fame. So, whatever your currency may be, but you can't stop human beings from expanding. So, how much expansion does one want? If I make you, instead of Devarakonda, I'll make you the king of this planet, will you be fulfilled?
No.
Because you will look at the other planets, you look at the other galaxies.
As in, first I'll say I don't want to be king of the planet, I don't
No, I'm not planning to make you. Suppose we make you the king of the planet, immediately you will look up, what about the moon? What about the sun? What about the galaxy? This is the nature of human being, because human being wants to expand, nothing wrong with it. It is just that wrong means is being employed, in the sense, you want to expand limitlessly, but you're choosing the dimension of boundaries to expand limitlessly.
Okay, so you're saying…
What you're seeking is boundlessness, but you're seeking it through boundaries of physicality. So unless your experience of life goes beyond your physical self, this is how it'll always be. Conflict is inevitable.
But then this is something most of us will never end up doing.
That is why we are saying, why this effort right now to touch the youth, to touch the world, is to bring what is called as, in Tamil Nadu we said, Orusattu Anmikam, one drop spirituality. Spirituality does not mean you have to take sannyas and walk on the street or do something else, sit in a temple, this is not what it is. Within you, your experience is little more than body and mind. Something beyond that has become a living experience for you. If this one thing happens, you will naturally function consciously. This compulsive need to expand will go away, because once you touch a non-physical dimension, then you're boundless. Once there is an experience of boundlessness, you understand physicality has to be managed. In this world, we have to make space for the tree, the ant, the bird, the elephant and the other people also. Not as a philosophy, but as a living experience.
This is all coming from some sort of greed and expansion.
I wouldn't use the word greed. This is longing to expand limitlessly, which is essentially a spiritual desire finding physical expression. Wrong means, it's like you're driving your car but you want to go to the moon. If you try very hard, you will be in Hussain Sagar.
Maybe we are doing it unconsciously.
Totally unconsciously.
This need to expand is very unconscious.
See, the need to expand is wonderful, otherwise human beings wouldn't progress. But it's being conducted unconsciously, and we have misunderstood this longing to expand limitlessly as a physical need, because right now our experience is limited to physical self.
So, this is one question in the segment that comes from a boy called Bapu Chaitanya. So Bapu wanted me to ask you, is being patriotic or is patriotism good?
See, a nation is an artificial situation we have created in the world. What is the ideal? Well, it would be fantastic if it was a global village or nation, as we call it. But will the globe happen without management?
So for management we need…
No, we anyway have to have a leader.
Yeah.
Now, should we have an Indian leader, African leader, American leader? Question will come. Then fight will start. That's how nations have happened. Who should manage which part of the world? Because we could never agree that who should manage the whole world. So we made it into small parts, well over 200 parts. Well, we could strive to make 4 or 5 nations in the world instead of 200 nations at some point. Now European Union is there, similarly we can make an American Union, an Asian Union and make just 3 or 4 nations. It looks like a good possibility, but there is also a prospect that if they get heavily armed, if 2 continents go to war with each other, there'll be no small wars, there'll always be only world wars. So in some ways, the way it's broken, it's okay because it's broken on cultural lines, linguistic lines, so many things, religion, this, that, in so many ways it's broken, it's best to preserve that. Now, is patriotism a good thing? Patriotism means an emotion towards your nationality or your nation. See, do you believe that you can build a family without investing your emotion?
As in, build a family, maybe not. Have a family, yes. But build a family, no.
Well, I was not talking about an arrangement. I'm saying, can you really get the best out of the people around you,
We can't.
whom you call as family, if you do not invest your emotion in that?
We can't.
No. So when you can't build a nation of 4 people, family is a nation of 4 people. If you can't build a nation of 4 people, how are you supposed to build a nation of 125 crore people without investing emotion in it? Is this emotion ultimate? No, but it is an immediate need. And a nation is the largest amount of humanity, volume of humanity that you can handle right now. 125 crore or 1.25 billion people is a world by itself. So do you need emotion? Yes. This emotion must be graduated as a nation grows into different levels of evolution. Right now, we have a nation where over 400 million people have not eaten properly yet. Even today, there's a report in the newspapers saying that the World Health Organization says the most underdeveloped children on the planet are in India. We are not dying anymore, but we are underdeveloped. Skeletal system is not growing fully. From first day, they have not eaten properly. The necessary nutrients are not there to develop a full-scale human being. So we are creating underdeveloped humanity, which is not a small crime, it's a crime. This crime is on all of us, all right? This crime is on all of us that our children are all stunted. We have the maximum number of stunted human beings on the planet right now. When it's like this is not a time for debate whether we should invest our emotion or not. Still after 70 years, daily we have issues on our borders. Daily soldiers are dying, all right?
Yes.
If only, if you tell all the soldiers who are standing, because I've been engaged with the armed forces, with the BSF, with the Indian Army, Coast Guard and all of them, ITBP, all these people, if you only tell them, I've been to Siachen, I've met the Siachen warriors on the yoga day. If you look at the hardship they're going through on a daily basis, not fighting the enemy, just the natural elements, at 22,000 feet, camping out there, continuously being there 12 months of the year, if you just tell them, this nation doesn't mean anything to them, at least they can go back to their families. When a man stands there on the border, willingly to sacrifice his own life, willing to widow his wife, willing to orphan his own children, is it a small thing? Have you even understood what we're talking about? So if you tell them, we are not interested in the country, they can also go home and do their own thing. So, these are different levels of evolution in a country. Right now, sovereignty of the nation is constantly under threat. And millions of people, nearly 500 million people are not even fed properly. In this state, we need a lot of patriotism, you know? Every one of us should be Bharat Mata ki Jai right now. Let us say in another 25 years, all these people are fed, everybody's comfortable and well-to-do, everybody's getting the education and the nutrition and stuff, then you must downscale your patriotism a little bit. Let's say tomorrow, it all becomes Asia, Europe, everything becomes very friendly, it's all business and no war, we will lower our militaries and everything, nuclear arms are down, then you can further lower your patriotism, down. Someday if such a situation comes, we can live here without even thinking I'm Indian. Will be wonderful day, but that's far away. Right now you need it. You need it in full force because the sovereignty of the nation is in trouble and half the people have not even eaten properly. What are you talking about?
So, his follow-up question was, because I'm born in this country and because it's giving me security and support, if it's okay to be patriotic and if I can be proud of being patriotic, why can't I be proud of the caste I'm born in, of the religion I'm born in, of the race, color of skin I'm born in, if they are also giving me support, if they are being a smaller support system, like a caste is a smaller size of our country itself, or a religion is also, he's born into this caste, he's born into this religion. So it's like, when they are also providing me this support and stuff, why can't I be proud into the caste? Because nation is like geography divided on geographical lines, this is divided on caste lines.
See, all these things that you mentioned of nationality, caste, religion, language, ethnicity, color of my skin, all these are… A human being is a composite of all these things.
Yeah.
You cannot exclude any one of them. Right now, the mode in the country is such, you know, there is an English saying called throwing the baby with the bathwater. You know how this term came? This term came because at that time, in a cold country like England, the families had bath only once a year.
Okay.
How's that for you? Not in India, okay? Even 10,000 years ago, we were still having bath every day, but English had bath only once a year.
Okay.
Because a cold country, from October onwards, it's cold, 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 only end of May, June, mid-June.
Okay.
So at that time, they have a family bath, so big bathtub. First, the man of the house will take the dip. If that guy goes in and comes out, it's already turned dark. Not because he lost his skin color, because 1 year of muck.
Yeah.
Then all the men in the house go, then the women go, then the babies, children and babies go. So it happened sometimes that there are so many children and everything, they put them in this big tub which is murky, you can't see anything. When they want to throw the water out, some babies got thrown out. This entire thing of carrying a bride carrying a bouquet came from this culture because the bride smells so bad. She has to have a flower bouquet, otherwise you can't go near her. This is all this is the fragrance of the flower made her attractive. Otherwise, she's quite… because she's gone into the tub after all these men.
Oh, after all the…
So, we are throwing the baby with the bathwater. In this culture, the caste and creed was created as a transference of knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
Because we understood in those days that whatever skills a father has, he is naturally prejudiced in favor of his children.
Yes.
So he will teach it in a best possible way to his own children.
Yeah.
So the family traits and culture always went like this.
Yeah.
This is the only reason
Caste.
why those who want their children to be really educated send them to Gurukulas, away from the family, where there is one man who's risen above his identities of blood and he is going to teach the best to their children, but the rest of the skills, simple skills of carpentry or blacksmithery or whatever else is needed on a daily basis, this was transferred only through the family. So they maintain this close thing, a blacksmith's family means they eat in a certain way as it's necessary for their type of work. They will marry only a blacksmith's girl because she knows how to make the fire, this, that. If you marry a carpenter's girl, she won't know how to do this. So it is from this they did. Out of this, a phenomenally kaleidoscopic culture we created. It's so fantastic. From one community to another, they're living side by side in the… in the neighborhood. For probably 100 years, 2-3 generations have lived. But the way they cook this home and this home is distinctly different.
Okay.
If I go to any house, if I just smell the seasoning, I just tell them what caste you belong to.
Okay.
Just if I smell the seasoning, I know what caste you belong to.
Do you think we still cook it as…
If
if they're married in
if they're married in the same thing and traditionally Women who are trained in that are there, but today most women are going to school and college, they never spent enough time in the kitchen, so
Now things
everybody
change,
smells like pizza or whatever. That's a different thing. But it is so distinctly different. You should not destroy this. The only thing we need to take away is the discrimination. Unfortunately, our differences became terrible discrimination, that we started treating people badly, this profession is low, that profession is high, if you are doing this, we will treat you badly. This discrimination we need to take, but right now we are trying to level out the whole culture, which is not going to work, and if it works, it'll be a very poor nation. We will become like other nations where everybody eats only burger, okay? Here also people are beginning to eat only burger. I have nothing against anything, but the thing about a human being is to do things in an aesthetically correct way. I don't see how it is very civilized or correct to take food which is about 7 inches tall and open your mouth 7 inches and eat it. That is the way of a crocodile. That's not the human way. We have been taught to eat in a certain way because a human being wants to do everything in a beautiful way. Dog also eats, cat also eats, but we want to eat with style. We not only want to nourish ourselves, we also want to make it into an aesthetic process in our life. If those things are taken away from our life, what is the point in the name of leveling out the society? Well, if you make everybody into monkeys, we will all become same, of course. You just have to genetically push back everybody to be a monkey, we'll all be one kind of monkeys. That is not the intent. It is perfectly fine to be proud of your culture, to be proud of whatever you belong to, but if you have the sense to appreciate how other people are different, you also appreciate the difference. They are different and you must appreciate the difference. World is colorful, India is as colorful as it is only because all of us are so different. Every 50 kilometers you drive, people are different, they speak differently, look different, dress different, eat different, everything different. So it's fantastic, we must keep this color in the country. This color has not come just like that, 10,000 years of maturity to get this color. We should not destroy this colorful nation by believing in some kind of a silly, leveling out business. But at the same time, it's very, very important that we remove the discriminatory aspect of it and we learn to appreciate all the differences that others have.
My next topic is on love. This is an age where we all… where we all fall in love and we all love to love and we all love being loved. So my first question is, all you need is love is a popular saying, and I've been told by people that like, money is not the most important thing, love is more important. If we have love, we can be together, we can be good. But I come from a school where I'm like, dhanam moolam idam jagat. I'm like, what will I and you love, and if we don't have money, what will we even do? So my question is having a life full of love and not much money better, or is like going for ambition and working on our careers and making lots of money and security, but then maybe you don't find the right person but you settle or whatever. So what is a trade-off? Because it is a trade-off, we don't have time to do both things, like most of us don't. So…
I was told some things were going on in the WhatsApp and stuff, that in Hyderabad, after the demonetization, women are beginning to marry for love.
Women are making so much money, Sadhguru.
So, I would like your definition of what is it that you're calling as love?
First of all, that's another question. Like, my personal feeling, like, I don't know. I've felt love, but I don't know how to define this word. I think this is a word that greeting card companies came up with to market stuff. And one more issue I had with love is, because it's so untangible, when I say I love you, you say I love you, we could be completely… Hypothetically. Hypothetically, like, when someone says I love you, I think maybe she means that I will give a kidney, I'll give my life for you if you're in trouble. And maybe when I say I love you, I'm like…
No, she only said I'll give my heart, never the kidney.
No, but to that extent, that I will do, my life is yours. When someone says I love you, they could mean that. And I could reciprocate with I love you to the same person, but maybe my meaning is that I really like spending time with you and you're the only person, and whenever I want to go out, I want to spend time with you, but I will not give a kidney or give my life for you. So the thing is, we just say I love you, but because it's not tangible, you never know what is the exact this thing of it. So that's one vague conversation which will go on forever. And I have so many questions for you, and I think we're running out of time.
No, this kidney love I like.
Oh, you like? But tell me what is better. This is an answer I need. Like, can we survive with love and not enough money, or is money important and then we can also find love, like whenever we can, if we do?
See, we went through this in some way in the beginning.
Okay.
What you call as myself right now is a body, a certain amount of thought and ideas and whatever.
We will stick to this dimension. And if you go to another dimension, I lose you there.
And there is a bunch of emotions.
Okay.
And there is life energy. Without that energy, all this wouldn't be functioning.
Okay.
So these are 4 dimensions.
Okay.
What you're referring to as love is a certain sweetness of emotion. The question is not about who triggered it for you. It is just that because of somebody or something, you started experiencing a certain sweetness of emotion, which became so valuable at that time, you promised a kidney. At that moment, because that sweetness meant so much that actually in Hindi they say something, what, gurda, something, what is that? What is that, huh? Something I will give away my kidney on. That same thing is said in a more powerful way.
Okay.
So, at that moment I'm willing to pull my kidney out and give it to you, but not the hair. That is clear, okay? So essentially it's sweetness of emotion. What sweetness means is, see, if the body becomes sweet, we call this health. You feel healthy because there is a certain sweetness in the body, pleasantness. Sweetness is pleasantness, isn't it? You call something sweet because you say, oh, she's so sweet, because she's pleasant. For you, in your experience, she is pleasant, so you say it is sweet. So, if your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. You're feeling pleasant, so you say, I'm peaceful. It became very pleasant, you call this joy. Your emotions become pleasant, you call this love. It became very pleasant, now you call it compassion. If it is somewhat pleasant only for one person, we call this passion. It became very pleasant, we call it compassion. Now, you feel like that absolute sweetness towards the tree and the air you breathe and the people, you don't even know who they are, it doesn't matter, you have pleasantness. So we say compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. So right now what you're doing is, you're pitting sweetness of emotion versus sweetness of the surroundings. To create sweetness of the surroundings, we need the cooperation of many forces. Situations have to cooperate, people have to cooperate, many things have to fall into place. Otherwise, success doesn't happen.